Hi there, welcome to today's video. We're going back to Bloomborough today. Now, I put stream replay up on Sunday, just gone, of a game I played in featured all the squirrel guys and the lead commander from the pre-con deck, Hazel of the Bloomborough, anyway, Hazel. But one of the creatures that turned up in that deck was Camellia, the Seedmiser, and I wasn't really going to go down the road of doing another black-green squirrel deck, but I was asked in the chat to do one while we were streaming, and I had to think about it. I thought, well, I've done a lot of the other legends from the set, I might as well hit this one as well. So anyway, here we go. Camellia, the Seedmiser, 1 black and green for a 3/3 legendary squirrel warlock, has menace, gives all our other squirrels menace, and then whenever we sacrifice one or more foods, create a 1/1 green squirrel creature token. And then 2 forage, so exile 3 cards from your graveyard or sacrifice food. Put a +1/+1 counter on each other squirrel you control. Yeah, you can stack this, you can make the token, and the token comes in as a 2/2. Right, okay, we need to look at this, and we need to look at foods and try and find a way of doing that. And that is what today's deck focus on, courtesy of the people who asked me to do this in the stream. So here we go. So this isn't going to be as a focus as the other squirrel deck was, but we do have the odd squirrel. But we'll start at the beginning. So, Birds of Paradise, that helps fix our mana. And then Gilded Goose, because Gilded Goose will create a food. Yes, we can sacrifice a food to get a mana, and that will give us a squirrel. It doesn't give us a +1/+1, but here's another way of getting a squirrel if we need one easily. The Minstrosity comes in, because when it dies it gives us a food token. That's a 3/1. Pippin, Warden of Isengard, create a food, sacrifice 4 foods, gives all other creatures +3/+3 and haste until the end of turn. Now, this actually works quite well with Camellia, because if you can get the 4 foods out and sacrifice them, if you stack the triggers correctly, you get the 4 squirrels, they come in, and then they become 4/4s that attack. So it does work, it's a bit cheeky. Squirrel Sovereign, just because we pump all the other squirrels up as well. And then Sir Ginger, the meal ender, is a food, and whenever another artifact is put in a graveyard, you put a +1/+1 counter on Sir Ginger and scry 1. Now all the foods are obviously artifacts, so get Sir Ginger up quite big quite quickly. Thorn Vault Forager, we like foraging, obviously, with this deck, so sacrificing some foods off to get an extra couple of manas is fine. Likewise, 3 in a tap to get a squirrel card. We do have a few squirrels we do want to go and find in the deck. Not too many, but it gives us away such now. Finery Mentor is one of the squirrels we would let go, because when it enters and when it dies, we get food. Academy Manufacturer had to be here. The clues and the treasures we have make life a little bit easier when we're trying to forage. We're making enough foods, we'll get enough clues and treasures kicking around to help out. Chatterfang Squirrel General, with 1 or more tokens would be created under your control. Those tokens are +1 plus that many 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens are created instead. Nice little combo with these two. Came from the same set. I think Wizards may have thought about it. But anyway, Gumdrop Poisoner gives us a food off its temporary treats, and then if we gain some life we can bring this in and give something -X/-X. So again, nice little way of a little bit of targeted removal. Peregrine Took, if 1 or more tokens would be created under your control, those tokens plus an additional third token are created instead. Yep, okay. Rapture's Guest, whenever 1 or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, create a food token. So the guest and the squirrels go along very nicely. Sawtooth, Sweet Tooth Witch comes in, gives us a food, and then we can sacrifice food to make someone lose 3 life, so we can poison them a little bit, a bit like we can with Tempting. 2 life. Target player loses 2 life with the Sawtooth. The Tempting Witch lets target player lose 3 life. But difference is we have to tap the witch, so we only get to do that once a turn, whereas with the Sweet Tooth Witch we can do that as much mana as we've got on the foods we want to get rid of. Tireless Provisioner does a whole landfall trick with food tokens. Yes, landfall can give us also treasure token as well, but we'll have the food token, thank you. Bristlebud Farmer comes into play with 2 food tokens, and it takes, we may sacrifice food. If we do, mill 3 cards and put a permanent card from among them into our hand. Eleanor Gardener comes in as well from Lord of the Rings. Enter the battlefield, get a food token, and at the beginning of your end step, if you sacrifice food this turn, get a basic land into the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. Gluttonous Troll gives us the number of food tokens equal to the number of opponents we have. I'm not worried about the sacrificing another non-land perm to give it +2/+2, unless I really need to get some extra damage in. Gnome, the Master Chef, at the beginning of your end step, create a number of food tokens equal to the number of non-token creatures you had enter the battlefield under your control this turn. So if you just play Gnome, you get 1. If you play Gnome plus some of the other things, you get 2, so on and so forth. It scales up. Quite nice. Tosky, another squirrel, just so we can get some card draw in. Old Flitterfang is also in. At the beginning of each end step, if a creature died this turn, create a food token. The old Acorn Gang might as well come in and have the squirrels go. Plus target squirrel gets +2/+2 and gains trample. Activate or lose a sorcery. A little bit of card draw. Menace, trample and reach is quite nice though. But the reason that I'm very excited about this deck is I've put in Yagra, Eater of All, because it makes every other creature a food, including your tokens. You can make your tokens, sack your tokens off, get another token, so on and so on and so forth. It's kind of quite scary, I think, and it works quite well in a food deck. Anyway, Ferocious Fell Beast comes in from Lord of the Rings, enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a creature, nice, and create a food token for each creature sacrificed this way. So, in a game of Commander, this coming into play gives you, in theory, 3 foods for 6 mana and a 4/4 flyer. Nice. What I am counting on though is having a whole load of squirrels and eventually going, here's Crater Hoof, I'm winning the game now, thank you very much. So, spells, that's the creature base. For the common good, create X tokens that are copies of target token you control. They gain indestructible, gain a life for each token you control. This worked really well in the game on the stream that's up on the tube. So yeah, decided to give it another go, and I do actually quite enjoy this rare. Many partings, get a basic land card, reveal it, pin our hand, we get a food token for 1 green mana. Yeah, Lord of the Rings was quite good for that sort of thing. Farseek, go and fetch one of the lands. Rampant Growth is here as well. Revive the Shire just gives us a way of getting something back from our graveyard to our hand if something goes pear-shaped and we get food out of it. 3 visits, Cultivate, going on with the ramp idea. So does Return from the Wilds, because this will get us a basic land and a food token. Very unlikely we're going to need the 1/1 human white creature token, but if you do, you do. But I'm guessing it'll be a land and a food with this deck. Ruinous Path just gives us a way of another targeted removal spell. The Awaken can happen sometimes and be useful, but it's purely targeted removal. Toxic Deluge and Damnation are here to control the board a bit more. Venture Forth, just because I like having this card in my decks when I'm playing green, and going off and getting that random land is fun. And yeah, I'm playing a black deck and I still want to try and get Rise of the Dark Realms off at some stage, so it's back again. Probably a wasted slot. People out there will probably think of something better to go in over this, but I am determined to win a game by casting this at some stage, so it goes in this black dock today. Artifacts, Ramp, Tantalite, Talisman are in. Elixir of Immortality, usually, I think most of my decks have this in because I'm very scared of being milled out. Well, you saw yesterday's deck, so. Lava Spur, Boots to protect Camellia, Soul Ring for ramp, Arcane Signet for the ramp, 1 of each of the medallions as well to help with the ramp, Boots to protect Camellia, more ramp with Talisman and Resistance, Dark Steel Ingot. People are probably going to wonder why the Dark Steel Ingot's in here. I've put it in because there seems to be a lot more destroy all artifact effects kicking around at the moment, and since this one's got indestructible, I do want to keep my ramp on the go if I can, so I decided to play the Ingot for a change. Heaped Harvest, gets us a basic land, so another ramp spell to a certain extent, and then becomes a food we can sack off if we needed to. And Transmutation Font. Yeah. 5 mana, tap it, have a food, a blood or a clue token. Yeah, okay then, I'll cope with that. Enchantments. Scavenger's Talent is also in. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control die, you get food. Triggers only once a turn, but it does give you a food to start things off again. And whenever you sacrifice a permanent, target player mills 2 cards at the beginning of your end step. You may sack 3 other non-land permanents. If you do, return target card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. So, yeah, you can sack off some of your clues and your treasures, and, well, yeah, you probably sack off your foods if you've got Camellia in play. Insidious Roots just gives all our creature tokens the ability to tap to add 1 mana of any colour, and then whenever 1 or more creature cards leave our graveyard, create a plant token. That bit, not so much. Creature tokens tapping for extra mana, yes please, thank you. Welcome to the Sweet Tooth. Human token, near, food, yay. +1/+1 counters on target creature where X is 1 plus the number of foods you control. Yep. Thank you very much. Fey offerings, creature spell, non-creature spell, get a food, create a food, a clue, and a treasure token. Nice. Growing Rites of Itmok, just to go and get some land, creatures out, and then eventually turn into our sort of like semi-gaze cradle. Squirrel Nest, just so we can have some squirrels coming into play. Knight of Sweet's Revenge gives us a food token, and then foods we control have tap, add green. Does actually work if you've got this in play, and you've got, where is it? Yagra in play. Yeah, you can tap all your creatures for green mana. It's very strange. But anyway, and then we can sacrifice it to give all creatures you control +X/+X until the end of the turn, where X is the number of the foods you control. With the Yagra in play and this, it becomes very deadly very quickly. Oath of the Grey Host. We give each opponent, yes, an opponent get food, then each opponent loses 3 and gets a treasure token, and then we get 3 1/1 white spirit creature tokens, which, yeah, okay, whatever. However, Parallel Lives and Doubling Season are here to help us out with our token generation, and yeah, this isn't so bad when you have these two in play. Land-wise, black and green lands all the way through. We are playing Field of the Dead, and the cost of the deck in paper is ridiculous because of Gaze Cradle being actually in the actual deck, because I figured I could get away with having it in here with the amount of lands, and well, no, not the amount of lands, sorry, the amount of tokens that I'll be creating. So yeah, you can drop Gaze Cradle out if you haven't got one in real life and just replace it with another forest, it's fine, but hey, I'll be playing this mainly on MTGO, so I can have my Cradle in the deck. And that is really it. Gingerbread Cavern I'll mention because it got 3 or more forests. You get a food token when it comes into play, and it comes into play untap. Beyond that, we do have one other land I want to mention if I can find it really quickly. Oh, the Shire's here, just so we can, that's it, play 1 and a green and tap an untapped creature we control to get a food token, so that's quite nice. I am playing 3 Tree City because at the end of the day we should have a whole load of squirrel tokens at some stage, so we might as well have the ramp coming from this. When we have got Urborg and we have got Yavimaya Cradle of Growth in here, so we have all the usual suspects in the deck itself. Alongside Oak Hollow Village, because we might as well chuck some more +1/+1 counters around on our squirrels as they enter the battlefield or before we attack. And that's it. That's my superfood focus Camellia, the Seedmiser deck. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you think there's anything I've missed out, as usual, leave me a comment down below. I'll be playing this on stream this week because we can't play any of the Duskborn decks yet, because obviously it's not released on MTGO this week, but I'll kick off Thursday night stream with Camilla, undoubtedly, unless there's another request. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. The last 2 decks this week are requested decks from people who come and talk to me on the stream and comments in here on YouTube. So, you know, if there is a deck you want to see or card you want me to cover, leave a comment, let me know, and yeah, chances are, in between Duskborn cards over the next few weeks, I'll get it covered. But for now, thanks for watching, take care, I'll see you in the next one, bye.